Okay, so focusing on behaviour and the school going into special measures. It went into special measures February 2014. I joined the school that month, so as the school went into special measures, and it went into special measures following a Ofsted behaviour snap inspection where they just focused on behaviour, and then that triggered a section 5 inspection, which is a full inspection, which then put the school properly into special measures in February.
Okay, my name is Sergio Lima. I work for the school. Hello, Miss, as a behaviour assistant at the Voyager. What my job consists is I do lots of walk around and go into classes and see what the behaviour is in the classes, so if they are misbehaving or not. And I deal with that.
Hello, sir.
You okay?
Hello.
Oh. Good mornings. Okay. I've got company today. Yeah.
You got a mic, sir?
I do have a mic, yeah.
Why?
Because I've got company today.
Yeah.
To listen to what you guys are doing. Thank you, FBI. You alright? No? Has Miss Mazer come to you? Yeah? Yes or no? Yeah? Okay. Okay. This is what happens sometimes. I just go from there. I know most of the kids, it's very important to know the people who you talk to. You build a relationship, and building a relationship with students, it's very, very important. Why are people talking when the movie's on? Slash.
At that time, behaviour was one of the key focuses, and behaviour needed to be improved urgently was the wording from Ofsted, and there was some key foci within that. So just some of my data which I use to help me reflect on how things have improved, other than the more important things about as you see the school operating on a daily basis. So when the school went into special measures, that half term there was 2,372 on calls for a half term, which is quite significant. And if we compare that to last half term that's just gone, from April to May, 2016 to 17, that's gone down to 202. So there's a significant decrease in on-calls, and on-calls is when a member of staff needs support in a lesson because behaviour isn't, they can't manage the behaviour. So, and we've gone from a team of staff who used to be doing on-calls down to one member of staff, which is Mr. Lima now, who does it on his own. But the last half term was the first day where we had a day free of on-calls, so it's taken a lot of years to get to that point.
So about, like everybody knows, 2 years ago, we had a bit of trouble with the behaviour in the school. It was all about, in my opinion, the way how the school was being directed. So after Mr. Hugh Howe left, we had three different head teachers in the meantime, and that caused a little bit of dysfunction for the school. Not much as overall, all the students became a bit rowdy. The teachers couldn't teach them because they were rowdy, they didn't respond. We had very bad negative enforcement or not enforcement, very negative. Hello, miss. Hello. I have to talk to you, but I'll talk to you later. And you know why, don't you? That young man there. We had a negative impact from parents as well, because the school was in such a bad turmoil that time. So we were really down. At the moment, you see this. Okay, it's almost break time, but some students who are with staff can go and get food and all that. And some students are allowed to go out now because it's almost break time. But back in the day, this would be filled with students up and down the street, on the balcony, running, hiding from teachers, shouting in. The behavior was really bad. Cannot say it was this and that. No, it was bad. So and I remember this very well, we had a day that it was really bad. We had 150 logs. Hello, Mr. Damani, how are you today? No answer now? Oh, thank you very much. We had 150 on-calls in a day. That was the lowest point of my school life. And I said that day, I can't do anymore. I'll just leave it. So a few days later, I think we had Ofsted coming into school, and it was a surprise. No one was counting with that. It came one inspector, and he filled about 10 pages of information on and on and on. Hello, miss. Hello, Rhys. About how bad it was, and then after that he felt that we should have a section 5 in the whole school, so everything went through the inspectors. And then we had to be put in special measures, so that's when it started, the way that the school is at the moment. So we hit rock bottom, and from there we just had to build it up.
So, on-calls is only one measure. Fixed term exclusions, where a student is excluded out of school. Permanent exclusions is another measure. Internal isolations as well. There's all sorts of measures. But it's been quite a long journey, really.
One of the people had great impact in the school was Miss Mays. I remember when she came to school, she came to observe the school. Was part of her course for head teaching, I believe, that she was doing at the time. And she was standing in the middle of the street, and she had this notebook, and she was writing something on it. And being break time, that time, fights would happen like this. So she was in the middle of the street. Kids were passing back and forth, and there was something, a stair or something just went wrong, and 2 students, full fight over there, punched and all that. She couldn't see where the staff was herself, got in the middle of it, picked up the students, took it to the head teacher and said, "Are you going to exclude them?" Head teacher said, "Oh, that's not to do with me, it's with another person." So he went from there. So with that, she became a member of staff, and then she was appointed to be a permanent member of staff in the school, dealing with the behavior. And from there, she's been enforcing the behavior really, really well.
I mean, I've been here for just over 3 years now, so from that point, the starting point was really to see what systems were in place to manage behaviour. So starting very first of all with the behaviour policy, and just overhauling that with staff, getting staff on board, asking staff what the main issues were, although you could see a lot of it because it was quite apparent by looking around. And once got staff on board, sort of developing it was clear that they wanted to have a system where if this happens, this is the consequence. So it's very black and white. So that's what I developed with staff, and we've got a behaviour framework from that, which has got actually 9 points in it at the moment. So if a student does this, then this is the consequence, and people are very clear about that. And making sure that staff are supported to challenge behaviour, so they're not on their own when there's an incident, and they've got the full support of the senior leadership team and the middle leaders as well within that, so subject leaders. So behaviour framework and behaviour policy was one of the key starting point, and then once you've got that, it's then implementing it consistently, and that's a daily job, because there will always be some different interpretations of that, some inconsistencies as you get different staff come and go, and it's just making sure that the integrity of that stays as it should be, and I can't do that on my own, and nor should I. So that's middle leaders' job, so heads of department, also progress leaders, so heads of year, making sure that they're always going back to this behaviour framework and making sure that everyone adheres to it. So if a student goes to one lesson, they know that they can expect the same in another, so they're not got this inconsistent diet of expectations throughout the day.
The students saw, oh, this is not the way that we want this to happen, so let's go back, let's calm down. And they did, most of them did. And the ones who were more resilient to be more, how do you say, stubborn. They had it took a little longer to go through it, but then they got it and it calmed down. So now, see the behavior now, it's more controlled. Yeah, not from 150 on calls that we had that day, 10,000 on calls we had in a year, to the point that we didn't have a one on call one day this year. It was really good. So I have to do about 6 to 10 on calls, if so, in a bad day.
Another part, when Mr. Hudson came, he's been here for 2 years now, which was really lacking in school, was having a very clear ethos. So he brought the respect agenda in, which was again created with staff and students, because you can't sit in an office and create it on your own because nobody will buy into it. So through that kind of qualifies everything we do. So the way we communicate with one another, staff and students, students and students, and staff and staff, the way we act, and everything we do, which therefore has an impact on learning and therefore an impact on progress and grades. So that sort of was interwoven with the Rights, Respect and School, which Mr. Lewis already had in place. So it was just sort of making sure that created the framework for it. So on the whole, the balance is improving. Go back to my figure I gave earlier, but more importantly, when you show visitors around and you walk around the building, you can see that it's a nice calm environment now, and it's an environment that's conducive to learning. So when you go into classrooms, the barrier is not the behaviour, it's then the staff are able to focus on the learning that takes place as our students.
So yeah, it turned around, and whatever people say outside, the neighbors or the community or even around the city, other teachers who don't know the school come here or know just about the press, how bad press we had. The ex-MP, Mr. Jackson, who said that the school was rubbish, should be closed and all that, talking bad about our school. It's you'd have to be here to see what's going on. It's not what they say. And like I said, you have to be here and feel the environment, see how our kids are, because it's not our kids are not the kids from TDA, are not the kids from Lynn Park, are not the kids from King's. We have a very special set of students in here, and when I say special, it's the big mixture of students we have in the school. And we have very good students who go to universities, who try their best in lessons and etc. But unfortunately, and this is what most of the people see, is that little slice of negativity that we have in the schools, and all the schools have that, but because it's the Voyager, they do like that. So yeah, that's the problem.